11th, 2007. My name is Jim Lochteleld. I'm here with World War II veteran Walter Kettlehut. With us also is his wife, Dorothy. The camera person is Mark Shaffar. This interview is being conducted as an Eagle Scout project for Chase Shaffar-Roggeveen of Boy Scout Troop 508 in Kenosha, Wisconsin. This interview is being conducted for the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress. Ready to go? Can you please tell me your name and your birth date?
Walter Kettlehut, March 7th, 1925, I think.
Which war did you serve in?
Which war, you say?
Which war did you serve in?
The American, Second World War.
And which branch of the military did you serve in?
Tanks.
Tanks. And can you tell the name of your unit? Of your division?
There were individual tanks there with numbers on it, and that's all we went by.
No, what was your
695th Armored Field Artillery,
Okay.
they call it, started off.
Yep. 695th, and this was the U.S. Army.
Right, U.S. Army.
What was the highest rank you achieved?
Sergeant.
Sergeant. And do you remember when you were in the military?
Oh, I couldn't give you the numbers, no.
Were you drafted after Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
After.
And you stayed until after the end of the war?
End of the war, yeah.
In the European theater?
In the European,
Yeah.
correct.
And I remember you said you were sent first to England?
Right.
And how long were you in England?
Oh,
You were training there.
yeah, we had some training there, right? That's, maybe a month or so.
Okay.
That's about it.
Did you have training then before in the stateside before that?
Yes, we had some training there too. We started in over here in America, and they shipped us to England. From there we went to a combat holding zone. And from then on, it was just go and get them.
Okay. And do you remember where in the States you were trained? Was that as
Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg in
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay. And was that your first time out of the Midwest?
For what?
Was that the first time that you were out of the Midwest?
Yeah, I believe it really was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember if it was different at all down there? Anything you noticed?
Not really.
No.
When you're young like that, nothing, you don't absorb anything except what's fun. You don't, you know, something like that. They just let it go fly by.
So when you arrived in England, you must have, everybody must have had a sense that the invasion was coming soon.
Oh yeah, we all know that. We were just wondering how long it was going to take us to get us into combat, the heavy part.
So there must have been a lot of talk and a lot of some anxiety or wondering.
A lot of the boys got blurry-eyed, but they survived it.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is, right all of a sudden, bang, you do it. I mean, it's not waiting 2 hours or this or that, and you go.
So right away you just...
Right, off you went, right? Go to Fort Sheridan, get on a train, up the dock, to North Carolina. And then you will go on the boat.
Did you take a ship to England?
Yeah, we were on ships. Which is a fun thing.
What was it, 9 or 10 days or something?
Oh, yeah, good, yeah. Yeah, but you get sick, at least I did. It's about the second or third day I got sick. It seemed like everybody got sick at a certain time, but then it passed off, a couple, 3 or 4 days. And then you start getting back to normal, and by then you can see land again. And it was a short-lived little experience. But seasick when you're there. Well, at least I did. Most
Sure.
guys did. Yeah, you get a little sick, you know.
Mhm.
If
A
you're
little
not,
queasy.
yeah, right. You're wondering how long it's just going to last. Yeah, then you're in England, and the party starts.
So you were sent to you said, a military holding area.
Right from. See, that gets kind of fuzzy now.
Mhm.
Yeah, we went to England. Then they shipped us to a train to France, some part of France, I think, or on the edge of France or something.
Mhm.
We were just a bunch of GIs, young kids, running and fooling around, you know, half the time.
Well, your record that you brought with you said that you were actually part of the invasion at Utah Beach.
Yeah, we were there. Well, that's part of it. It wasn't as like you see in the movies, bang, 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 all that.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's Utah Beach.
Well, if you were driving the tanks down, you probably weren't in the first wave.
Oh yeah, we were in the first wave.
You were in the first wave.
Very first wave, yeah.
Okay.
Number 3 tank, I think it was number 3 we had. Anyway, yeah, we were
So it's,
Spirit. We were the Spirit of
was
American
the tank on an LST that you drove it up and then drove it out to the beach?
Army. Yeah, direct combat. Yeah, when they saw us coming, people would come out of the houses waving and screaming, America, America.
Oh, the French people?
All the French, yeah. Throwing flowers and mud and candy. And yeah, it was quite an experience. You're afraid at first, you're all excited. You want to get away from the group. You want to be sort of alone by yourself where you can think what's going on.
Mhm.
It doesn't happen that way.
There's always someone.
You know, there's always somebody there to talk to, jabber, and tell you what they saw. If you want to know what you saw. Oh, boy.
Mm.
But that's the first day. It's just a big mess of
Chaos.
chaos. Yeah, right.
Now, I remember hearing that region right around Normandy was thick with those hedgerows.
Oh yeah, that's.
What was that like?
It just it's a nice, clean 2-lane highway, but then you see a bunch of bushes, and there's where your hedgerows start, and that's the place where they sit and pick you off one by one. That was their intentions. I'm pretty sure of that. There's a lot of guys get hurt that way.
And I heard that, of course, it was so dense that people had to travel on the roads.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
And
That roads are. Well, the early part of the thing, we were the first ones there. The roads were filled with people pushing baby buggies, and helping each other. And the roads you could see straight down and 2-car road, dirt road. People walking with their bags over their shoulder.
Mhm.
And where they go, you ask them where they're going, if they can understand you. They don't know. They're just following the guy ahead of you. They're just following them. Yeah, that was a sad affair. And the American outfit wasn't, they didn't help too much. They were supposed to give us food rations and all that stuff, take care of us. But we were moving.
Yes,
And so if we take a turn off all these roads, they don't know where we're at.
I see.
So it's
So it was, as you say, chaotic and not always organized.
typical Army.
Uh,
Yeah, they all survived.
Now you said that the full crew was a 6-man crew in the tank.
Yeah, there's
When it was full.
there's me, assistant driver, mechanic, and 2 machine guns. Sometimes they have 2 guys do it, 2 guys working the guns. Most of the time they had one gunner. That's all there was. They're just sitting, doing their thing. But were all exposed. Because the tanks we had open turrets, and we had enclosed ones that had the turrets and all the turrets on top.
Yeah.
We didn't like that. I didn't like it. Because you're in that thing. It's spooky because you can't see it.
You feel trapped.
You feel like you're trapped and you're getting shot every minute.
Mhm.
But,
you said, well, you'd said before that you walked a lot of the distance.
Oh,
actually.
and how? Yeah, you see a lot of guys sitting along the road. Outfits that were ahead of us, infantry. See, they were ahead of us. Pooped out, sitting down on the side of the road, waving at you. Where you guys going now? You know, they're pooped out. They're resting.
Mm.
And there were sergeants and colonels or whatever they had. Trying to get them to get up. No, not anymore. You sit there for another couple hours, and they would get up and go. But they wanted to still be boss.
Mhm.
Because most of these hot-shot colonels. We got up when we wanted to.
So you went through France,
Oh yeah, went all the way through France, Belgium,
Belgium and Holland as well.
Luxembourg.
So you were on the northern part of the front.
I don't know what part of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't too concerned about it. Well, it was Holland. And the people there were all nice. They'd come out of the house with milk, or cider, or cedar, whatever they called it. But then you'd take off and move another 20 miles or so.
Mhm. And finally, it said you went into Germany itself.
Oh yeah, we marched right into Germany. They had their guards out and things like that, but no resistance. They put their guns down. If it was an open road that we were going on, and we were supposed to be patrolled by them, they'd have their little houses there in the corner. Well, a lot of times they see us coming or hear us coming. We'd stop the tank column, get out. You see all those guys disappear into the woods. They all take off.
Mhm.
Yeah, they didn't have a heck of a lot of resistance near the end there.
So was there a sense that the war was almost over?
Yeah.
I mean, on their
Yeah,
part?
on our part, we thought, well, this is getting near the end now because the firing is over.
Mhm.
But it wasn't. But we were so far ahead. We were, I don't know how many, with the things, what the book said we were ahead of where we were supposed to be. 17 miles or something. We got lost.
So you're just
Just
way...
kept going right into Germany.
So did you outrun your supply at that point?
No, we just stopped. Well, we stopped the farm there. Got what we wanted.
I see.
Cows, chicken, whatever we wanted. We go get it.
And
No supply, food supplies wasn't a problem.
yeah.
We had K rations and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but that's too lousy. We'll take a chicken or something.
Chicken was much better.
Goose or something just takes a little while to cook them.
Mhm.
Yeah, we didn't have too much resistance really. But then you get these little hotshot kids in these towns. They sit behind the buildings. They see a tank coming. If you're up in front row tank, you get picked off.
Mhm.
But then they take a machine gun, 30 caliber, and spray it on the they all disappear in a hurry. You never see them again.
How good was your mail service when you were there?
There wasn't any.
There wasn't any.
No, they were supposed to, the quartermaster, not whatever you call the guy, they were supposed to hold the mail for us. They just dragged on for weeks and months. We finally got the mail, what was left of it, but you never got it.
But it was months worth.
No, nobody come out there with the envelope saying, hey, your mind just wrote you a letter.
Oh.
You don't get that. They would just throw it in the ground or throw it in a bag someplace.
Were you able to write things to send back, or did you?
Well, you could write and send it back.
Yeah.
You don't know how far it got. You probably got past the guards.
Oh, I see.
How do you throw it in the garbage?
Mhm.
Because we're always on the go. You're
Mhm.
moving, you're moving, you're moving.
So by that point in time, was the front fluid? I mean, it seems like the Germans were falling back.
Oh,
and
sure,
you
they were
moving
falling
up.
back. Yeah, they were sitting along the way, the roads a lot of times. They wanted to join you. but they just gave up. Yeah, we saw hundreds of those guys. They want to join us. That way they get to eat.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
They throw the guns down. Soldat, comrade, hands up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, remember if you can what your training was like.
Basic training, you mean?
That would start there, yeah?
Oh, they take you. They take a bunch of guys or the barracks, get them out there in not dress uniform but casuals, and they talk to you about where you're going, what you're going to come up with, what they're expecting of you. Anybody got any problems with guns or conscience or anything?
Mm-hmm.
Just talk to the chaplain, have him talk to you. A little speech, Mickey Mouse little speech you have to go through.
Okay.
But then that lasted a couple of days. Then you jump on a train and you head for Fort Sheridan. There we went to North Carolina, I think, on the train. Stop every 10 minutes. And then from there, the ship, you went to, I don't know where we jumped on the boat. I can't remember.
Somewhere on the coast.
Yeah,
Must have
it's,
been.
I don't know, was it New York or
So how was it that you got into the tanks? Were you just assigned there, or
Yeah,
did you
yeah,
request?
well, see, actually, it's technically at the time it was field artillery.
Field artillery.
Yeah,
Right.
Now, that didn't mean nothing. Here's your artillery, and here's your field.
Mm-hmm.
Jump in the tank and put them together.
So it's a mobile artillery gun is
Yes,
what it is.
yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to take care of it, shine it up real nice. Just it's a target for the Germans is all it was.
Mm-hmm.
They say you gotta go 10 miles this way, 4 miles that way, this way, 2 miles. We're supposed to be at that station, that position, sit and wait. Yeah, so you sat and wait.
Mm-hmm.
The Germans will find out where you're at, and then the Americans knew that. They found out where you're supposed to be, and it was a big jungle mess half the time.
It sounds that
Oh
way.
yeah, we had Germans in the mess hall, and I mean, you know, they come wandering through the woods, and they're hungry, want something to eat, you feed them. Yeah, it was. Now it seems like a piece of cake, but then it was scary as hell. Because you're young, you know.
Well, sure. Yeah. Anytime it involves shooting at you, that.
Yeah, you hear a couple of those
Yeah.
M1s going off through the trees.
Mm-hmm.
You start digging in.
Did you catch much German artillery?
Oh yeah.
The 88s?
88s. Oh.
What was the sound like? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I sure do. I can't explain it.
Was it a whistling or a?
Well, it was a whirring sound like you, like any shell or anything that you throw, you'd hear a
Mm-hmm.
vibration. They weren't very accurate,
Mm-hmm.
but the noise would scare you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys, once they hear that thing, they start digging in to get to hide someplace. It was probably just an innocent shot, like the Germans shot at nothing, really,
Mhm.
that noise.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that once or twice, and
Sets you on edge.
yeah, you get off. You get yourself woke up in a hurry.
Now, your own gun. How fast could you fire it?
Well, I wasn't.
Well, I mean, not you personally, but
Yeah, well,
the crew.
yeah, we had 105s,
Mm-hmm.
and they're heavy now. I don't know, you couldn't fire them too fast. But
Once
it's a field artillery
Mm-hmm.
gun. It isn't something that you can whip around all the time.
So would it take a minute to load and fire, or
Oh, yeah.
5 minutes, or?
Yeah, maybe 4 or 5 minutes to load one.
Mhm.
See, see, the projectile is sitting loose. The casing of it is sitting loose, and then you've been told how far the crowds are.
Right.
So you take the little bags of powder, say 5, 10, 6 or 7. You put them in the.
Depending on distance.
Yeah, right. And half the time you don't know what you're doing. If you don't count them, you just grab a handful and jam them in there. And that's the way they shot those things.
And so you put the bags in, then put the
Put the
shell on the top and,
Right.
and load it in?
We'll push it in, yeah, because the firing mechanism was on the back of the shell. It's just like, you've seen them, I'm sure. It's the little round thing there, and you slam that thing, and boom, off she goes. And when she lands, look out.
Was it an accurate gun?
No.
No. Okay.
You couldn't decide on mine with those things.
So if you had a lot of them shooting at the same time, it could do something.
Then you could say, hey, look how I'm shooting. I'm shooting good. Yeah, 18 guys shooting at the same thing, yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, there's just shooting shots. But if they got artillery, then you got to get out of their way. You can't sit around there.
Oh, I
You
see.
either shoot and run or
Yep.
go hide someplace. Most of the time we were on the go, we had the advantage because we kept moving and moving and moving. And they had to get out of our way.
Right.
So that was a lot of protection for us, really.
Did you see any action versus German armor?
Oh, yeah,
Other
we had,
tanks?
yeah, German tanks. Yeah, see a lot of that stuff. Half tracks, jeeps. All the guys always had a jeep. It wasn't ours, it was German. You see, we went through there. Actually, I think we were the first ones to go through, but I know there was some more outfits moving along down the road when it was going the same way we were going. But if we went to go through a town or a farmhouse, whatever we saw, we wanted to take. The people would holler and scream, and we didn't. We just took it. We just GIs all dirty, muddy, thirsty, half of them drunk a lot of times. But everybody seemed to survive. I mean, we didn't have too much hand-to-hand action. We had some. Because we had 105s, and when those things go off, it makes a little hole wherever it hits.
So people moved out of the way of those?
Oh yeah, the first of all, you're to see the tank coming in, roaring, it'll be a lot of noise, and then there's going to be one shell fired, and anybody around that area that could hear better go hide someplace. And there was fear, a lot of fear. People, kids running around, getting in the basement, in their cellars and stuff like that. Yeah, you could go through a big farm home with people living there. You know they're living there, they're smoking a chimney, and you know the people live there, so you just want to go there and tell them, get out of here, because we're coming through with the tank outfit. So, you tell them that, they say, yeah. You go back to half an hour, the whole gang is still there. They just won't get out. Then they take you down to the basement. They got their wine there, and their cookies and candy, and kids are all playing in the basements. That's for bigger homes.
Sure.
A lot of them didn't suffer as much as you think they suffered. But they all had guns. You go in the house, you ask them if they got any guns. No. So you said, you look for yourself. You just go from room to room. You'll find a gun someplace there.
Shotguns or rifles?
Right, they had everything you could think of is there.
Okay.
Yeah, they had their guns. We took them away, of course, but they had control of them at the time. But they respected us quite a bit. They were so fierce.
Now I read that you crossed a whole bunch of rivers along the way. Were these on bridges or?
No, it's just a regular river, like you see Pikes Creek. It's one of those deals.
I see.
You're told to go someplace. They give you instructions, you gotta go 25 miles northeast and then 4 miles north. You don't know what the hell they're talking about. I never been. And so you get in your tank and you go north or east for a while. You get tired of this because all you're going through is woods and running down shacks and stuff. But it's scary in a way, and in another way, it's very boring.
It was a lot of the same day after
Yeah,
day?
Sit in a tank for a couple of days is very boring.
And you said it was loud and would
sure.
sort of joggle you around?
Yeah, there's always somebody slamming something shut or hoping something. Very loud and right.
And was there a sense, I mean, were you keyed up in the sense also that you don't know when somebody's going to take a shot at you?
You don't know that.
Yeah.
There could be 4 or 5 crowds up in the trees up there. So you just take a chance and do a little prayer and go for it.
So you're always a little on edge.
You're always on edge, man. You're always on edge.
Yeah.
And we didn't even, after a while there, we didn't even carry our guns over our shoulder anymore. We just stuck them someplace. They had the guns. There's no use carrying the thing because you take one shot at them, and if they're there, if you know they're there, you're going to get yourself shot because they'll hold back to the very last minute. They don't want to be discovered. Because 9 times out of 10, all the guys, all the outfits would be rummaging their houses, including me, all these guys. This is an awful way to do with the people, but.
Now, did you get leave while you were over there?
No.
No. So you were the whole time?
Yeah, well, I got leave when I got, after the rat race is all over, and the firing is all done.
But from the time you hit Utah Beach continuously, it was...
One great big wave. Yeah, you stepped on and kept on going.
And you were mainly in the your units were the forward units, were they not?
The what?
Forward units?
Oh, yeah, we were Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were Spirit for quite a while. But we don't know where we're going. They say, here's a map. And the captain or lieutenant, you look at the map, yeah, you go here and you go there, you go here and you go there. The map is full of mud. You can't read it. He had it in his pocket in the wall. So he said, read it, get in there, and get going. That's the way he did it. A lot of them got lost over there. And then you run out of gas. Nobody's going to help you. There's no stations around. So you got to run to the next guy behind you and hope he gives you some gas.
And you said everybody carried some cans with them for emergency supply.
Well, yeah, but you use them up. And you got to keep going another 10 miles, and there you are, sitting again.
Right. And you said that the tanks burned a lot of gas.
Oh, they slopped it right up. We had 2 10-gallon tanks or something. One, I don't know how much was container. You know the size of containers like this?
Yep.
Oh, that, okay.
Yeah, that's a 10-gallon or 20-gallon.
Well, you see them
20-gallon.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had those, 2 of those, one on each side of the tank.
And were those your spares?
They were our spares, they were our lifeline.
And you said in the tank itself you had 50-gallon tanks?
Yeah, there's a big, they were 50-gallon tanks, I think, I never looked at them, I just drove it. Yeah, those tanks were something else.
Do you remember Christmas or New Year's or any holiday?
Christmas, remember that. Yeah, we remember that.
Did anything special? It was just another day?
No, just a lot of sad faces. That's about all. You couldn't play the radio, didn't have a radio to play. You couldn't make any noise at night. Put the fires out. Yeah, we didn't do much celebrating. But during the day, the guys were all hyped up and snowball fights and stuff.
Oh, I see. Everybody got a little sad later on thinking about it.
Right, yeah. Long faces. Yeah, we stayed in places like 3 or 4 days and move out, move up, move up. And at the time that I'm talking about, now we were the spearhead of the invasion that was going across from France.
Mhm.
Very peak of it.
And so it was this go and stop, go and
Go
stop.
and stop, and go and stop and hide.
Mhm.
And just send a carrier, run her back and tell her he'd go back and tell them how far we got, and we just jerked through. But then it calmed down eventually. Then everybody was nice. Germans will come out, they'd give you whatever you wanted you could take.
Mhm.
But at first it was a little bit tough
A
going.
little tense.
Yeah, a little tense is right.
Yeah.
The old man would be in the backyard, you could see the barrel of his gun sticking out.
Yeah.
You can't go shoot all, you can't shoot everybody, you know.
No, certainly. And
We did-
so did you maintain contact with any of the men from your unit through the
No,
years?
I did for a while, but everybody just went their own way.
Mhm.
But in combats, a few of you guys get stuck together, that's it, you're married to these guys.
Mhm.
4 or 5, you
Months and months.
depend on each other, and each other depends on you, and
Yeah.
that's what keeps you going. Nobody stole nothing.
Mhm.
I mean,
From each other, you mean?
That's- no, none of that hanky-panky going on
Mhm.
in combat. Because if you do, somebody's gonna give you a rub down, good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when the war ended, were you stationed in Germany for a while?
I started trying to, no, they shipped us to England after the war ended. Yeah, we went back to England. And that's where, yeah, we were one of the first ones decommissioned, you might
Yeah.
call it. We were the first outfit,
Mhm.
combat outfit.
Mhm.
So we got the big glamorous, wonderful thing. But then after that, it was just bump your way across back to America.
So you were in England for a little while, and
In a
then
very short time, yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks or so at the most.
and then waved good.
Yeah.
Have a nice boat ride.
Yeah.
It was a ship again.
Huh?
It was a ship
Oh.
going back.
Yeah, ship was going back to
Yeah.
pick up some more, dump some more off, whatever they're gonna do.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was,
And were you discharged at that point?
no, I went back to, no, I got discharged at Fort Sheridan.
Okay. So you came back here with your unit, and then.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And were there any adjustments to come back to civilian life?
No, not really. You hear so much about it, but I never saw it. But we were in combat.
Hmm.
And there, none of the guys that I know we were with, none of them were affected by it that I know.
Mhm.
But you sort of, when you're there, you're a nervous wrecking all the time
Ah.
because you're on your toes. You know when you're gonna get shot or shot at or
Mhm.
when you're gonna step on. But when you get back to the States, everybody treated us like $1 million. Oh, well, shoot. But it takes you a while to get used to it. Things are
Mhm.
kind of fuzzy in your head.
Mhm. Well, are there any things, any other memories or things you have that you'd like to mention? Or I know that you brought some things with you. Would you like to show and talk about those?
What'd you bring? Did you bring something along?
Just the two.
Those 2 pieces of
Yeah.
paper.
Mhm.
What did I do with them?
There you
Him?
are. Yep.
No.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Read that. Explain it pretty good.
This first one is from the headquarters of the 20th Corps, APO 340.
Yeah.
Award of Unit Citation. Under the provision of Section 4, Circular Number 333, War Department, 22nd December 1943 as amended, the following unit is cited for distinguished and conspicuous service in action between 7th September 1944 and 15th of September 1944. The 695th Armored Field Artillery Battalion distinguished itself by its outstanding heroic achievements as the artillery component of small task force making the first daring attempt to cross the Moselle River at Mazires et Metz during the period of September 7, 1944 to September 15, 1944. By extraordinary heroism on the part of the officers and men in the face of powerful opposition, by ingenuity and skill in executing operations not normally performed by field artillery units, they took and held ground for 9 days under intense enemy fire, pending the arrival of more powerful supporting forces. The gallant performance of these units under the constant and frequent intense enemy artillery fire, conspicuous heroism and courageous determination of each member despite the casualties suffered, and the high felling of spirited course so richly manifested by all members of the unit are keeping with the highest traditions of military service. By command of Major General Craig W.A. Collier, Brigadier General, General Staff Corps Chief of Staff. Oh, this is a presidential citation. And the second gives the list of the places that the 695th Armored Field Artillery Battalion went. It said you left the United States in February 1944, boarded ship Marine Raven, boat sailed February.
That was a beauty.
Yeah, you arrived at the Firth of Clyde in Scotland on February 22nd. And then went to Morton Merrill, England in February 27th, so that would have been 5 days later. Left Southampton July 19th. Left and landed Utah Beach July 20th. And then went through France and Belgium and Holland, and then crossed the Elbe, still with the 5th Armored Division, so that would have been in Germany.
Yeah.
But you said when we were talking outside that you were taken prisoner for a little while?
Yeah, well, yeah, that was the only one, but there was more crowds there at the time where we got involved with some kind of little tussle about something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they were sort of friendly with us, and we were with them at a camp, not a camp, but a gathering to talk things over, and that's where the friction came in. We were too smart, wise mouths.
Uh-huh.
They talked, 20 guys were shooting off and carrying on, and half of them were drunk, you know. Well, that was part of it. That's part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was more whiskey and wine served over there in France and Germany than anything else.
I see.
Everybody had a bottle someplace.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, us combat guys, the ones that were in combat. But you were free for a while, you know. You play, you guys show up there at 4 o'clock or something, lunch, but nobody, they didn't pay attention to that. Then we calmed down, and we got into action, and then it was a different story altogether.
Mm-hmm.
But you're wild, you're young, you know, you want
Right.
to see what it's all about, you want to get in the action, you've heard about it, never seen it, you've never been in it, but when you get in it,
You want to get out quickly?
yeah, you start waking up and going up real fast.
Yeah. And you said that you got wounded in the leg as well?
You hit in the arm, just a piece
Oh,
of
in the
shrapnel.
arm.
What it does is it burns. I don't know if I even got the scars anymore. So here's one here.
It just got stuck in there?
Yeah, it's just a piece. When the shell goes off, those shells would break into 1,000 little hot, red hot pieces.
Oh, red hot, okay.
And when it hit, psst, oh, that's
So
what
it's getting a little burn,
you
basically.
get a little burn is what you get. Unless you get
Unless you get hit by a big piece.
that big piece is gonna do a big number.
That would do more. Well,
A lot of guys cried and carried on.